Everyone agrees that our public transportation system isn't ideal. Motoring Forum discusses the state of public transportation in Metro Manila.
Almost every day, motorists along EDSA see long lines of commuters waiting for buses at loading and unloading bays of the EDSA Carousel. The EDSA Carousel was put in place by transport authorities as one of the solutions to traffic congestion on main thoroughfares of Metro Manila. Still, every day, traffic is congested on EDSA. At so-called rush hours when coworkers commute to work or head off to home, long lines can also be seen on light rail transit stations. The lines at the MRT3 was particularly long when the ride was free under the Libreng Sakay program of the government. Commuters said they would rather wait long in line, assured that they would get on the train for a relatively quick ride to their destinations. And it isn't just the light rail transit lines at the EDSA Carousel. Commuters daily fight for space on the jeepneys, buses, and shuttles, and for those who can afford the so-called transit network vehicles, it takes longer to book rides. Many commuters are now risking life and limb taking the so-called motorcycle taxis, now made a legitimate public transport, although it is quite noticeable, especially at night around call centers, many remain colorums. There are point-to-point buses on many routes, but daily wage workers who make up the bulk of commuters in Metro Manila cannot afford them. Before, modern jeepney routes have been opened by the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, but the units have come few and far between. After authorities eased capacity restrictions and reopened the economy, taxi drivers are back to their old habits of turning down fares and become scarce during rush hours. Many blaming traffic congestion as well as the meteoric rise of fuel prices and the cost of living in the metro. Then there are the tricycles, many now going electric, that are the bane of motorists as they go about ignoring all traffic regulations, stopping anywhere, going against the flow of traffic, and adding to the daily congestion in barangays, secondary roads, and some even going on EDSA and other major thoroughfares. Meanwhile, Metro Manila is back to suffering daily gridlock on many thoroughfares. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority reports that travel time on EDSA has improved and the volume of vehicles has decreased ever since the price of fuel skyrocketed this year. But don't tell that to motorists who daily spend hours in traffic, time which could be spent for more productive endeavors or activities, or more time enjoying life and family and friends. Don't tell that to commuters who seem to spend as many hours on the road as they do at work. Motorists are prone to blame public utility vehicles and their undisciplined drivers for the congestion. Transport operators and drivers blame congestion on private motorists, pointing out that there are more private vehicles on the road than PUVs. Already, traffic authorities have been experimenting with various schemes to reduce the volume of vehicles on the road, banning them from certain roads at various times to ease congestion. Still, metro thoroughfares remain crowded even as vehicle sales, including the two-wheel variety, are again surging, so much so that some legislators are now proposing to tax vehicles more to discourage sales. But many are arguing that people will stop using their cars or other personal forms of mobility if only the metro's mass transportation is efficient, comfortable, accessible, and safe. Transport authorities and other concerned agencies have been patting themselves on the back about the programs, projects, and policies they are implementing, upgrading the light rail systems, rehabbing or building elevated tollways and bridges, the PUV modernization program, etc. But are these developments catching up to the seemingly increasing demand for an affordable and accessible mass transport network in the metro?
Commuters and motorists daily suffer from our inefficient mass transport system and traffic congestion. Aside from complaining and demanding more from government and transport authorities, what can each and every one of us do to help ease our woes? That's our Motoring Forum for this week, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.